Hello, I'm Carla Castellanos, and I'll be presenting Too Many Brands. Too many brands can cause confusion, inefficiency, and losing brand equity, meaning losing its place in the market or in the consumer's minds. They can get distracted with all of the options, which will end up hurting the brand or company in the long run. Reviewing a brand portfolio strategy is healthy for all companies that have many brands and sub-brands, like doing a spring cleaning once in a while and getting rid of the things that you are no longer in use for anymore. Reviewing brands and sub-brands that have succeeded or failed over a period of time can help decide which brands to keep, merge together, sell, or just eliminate. Doing this will, in the long run, save you money and enhance customer equity and market share equity. By following strategic brand consolidation process, it gives marketers a systematic, objective process to go by to easily evaluate the strengths and weaknesses of each brand or sub-brand, and then be able to determine if it's working for the overall objective. We will briefly go over the 6 steps in the strategic brand consolidation process. Step 1. The first step is to identify relevant brand sets. This can be done by separating and organizing each brand and their sub-brands. Doing this will help you overall see all brands and then evaluate their relative strengths and determine which brands need to go under further review. Step 2. The brand assessment criteria happens when the brands are set in order and then priorities are set. Doing this, then each brand can be evaluated as discussed. They will be evaluated by brand equity, business strength, strategic fit, and branding options. The discussion will default to simply picking the brands with the higher number results. Step 3 is evaluating the brands, which depends on the numbers from the step 2. Reviewing the scores will allow decisions to be made such as which ones should be kept, left on notice, merged, or eliminated, which leads to step 4. Step 4 is prioritizing brands. Prioritizing brands are set in tier levels so that a brand building budget can be set wisely and a process of merging or elimination can be made. The top tier will be the power brands that have the top best scores in equity and all-around performance. The second tier brands would be those which have a specialized role, otherwise known as the sub-brands, complement brands, or endorsed brands. The third tier brands would be the ones with little to no equity, which are candidates for consolidation. The remaining brands need to be sold to another firm or killed off. If that's not an option, then they can be put on notice, meaning the brand might see potential in the future. If not an option, then they can be put on notice, meaning the brand might see potential in the future. If brands are similar in use for the consumer, they can be merged and rebranded. For example, Microsoft merging PowerPoint, Excel, and Word, and etc. into just Microsoft Office. Step 5. Once evaluation, prioritization, and tier levels are made, then it's time to develop the revised brand portfolio strategy. The idea is to create 2 or 3 viable options. Sometimes a better option can be made by combining points from each option, but each option must support business strategy, provide suitable roles for the strong brand and their sub-brands, leverage the strong brand, and generate clarity for the customers and the team brand. The final step would be to put the brand portfolio strategy into play and implement them, which means to transition from existing strategy to a target strategy, which can be made abruptly or gradually. Abrupt changes require a positioning effort and substance behind claims. Claims need to be effective and have credibility in order to succeed. Gradual changes are migrating customers from one brand to another, slowly through a process, which typically needs to be done when there are no newsworthy repositioning that will accompany the change. Customers who may not have high involvement in the product and may need time to understand the change, and risk that of alienating existing customers by disrupting their brand relationship. In conclusion, once all the steps have been reviewed, evaluated, and set on a plan, the company can have an organized set of brands and sub-brands with new brand building budgets, new marketing objectives, and possible sponsorships. Also, replacing old logos with brands with many logos to and to start using descriptors reduces the risk of overpromising and competition within the brand. All right, that's a wrap for Too Many Brands. I'm Carla Castellanos, and thank you for listening.